So I have SMS 13.0.5 loaded right here, and I have my folder that has all of the datum or all of the surveys that I want to merge together. So I'll just grab these and I'll pull those into the interface. So I just pulled them all at once, or you could do them one at a time, it doesn't matter. Just know if you do them all at one time, whatever choices you make in this file import wizard will be applied to each one of those. So right now we get a visual look at what this data file looks like, but we can't really tell where the columns are. So we can choose different delimiters to turn on and off so that we can access the different columns of data. And so in this case, we're using a space delimiter, and we see the different columns here. Choose next. And then we're given a chance to change where the X is, or where the Y is, or where the Z is. So if this first column was not eastings, but it was northings, then you would want to change this X to a Y. Make sure that the second column was X. And so Y is northings, X is eastings, and then you would do that correctly. In this case, however, we do have it in the right order of X, Y, and then Z. And then the third column, as I mentioned earlier, is the Z data set. So even though we give a name here, this is only for the first file in those that we were selecting. So the name for each of the other data sets as they come in will mock the prefix before the .xyz or whatever its extension is. So it will use that as the actual data set when it's loaded into the data tree. As you're doing this, if you know there's a certain tolerance that you want to, get rid of extra points within that tolerance, you can enter that value. Usually we just bring the points in and then worry about all of that a little bit later on. With LiDAR sets, if you have a full LiDAR set, it can be really huge, so there's other ways to bring that in. The LiDAR set that we have is relatively small, so we'll be able to work with that a little bit better. So I'm just going to hit finish here, and it goes through, and it works with every data set. It's reading all the values, it's bringing them in, creating scatter points for each point, and then assigning values to those points. So you see a message that I got here that basically says I've got 112,662 duplicate data points. So for this particular one, the coastal relief model, it's saying that tolerance was set, and I've got some points that are extra, and I got rid of 112,000 of them. So if you just hit OK, you'll move on and keep working with it. So just another couple of seconds, and then we'll see the final screen. And so when we load all of these different data sets in, we see all of the data loaded. And then you'll be able to notice that you have 3 different areas where you have points. There's this area here, one spot here, and then one spot right here. And that's because these are in different projections, and we need to let SMS know what those projections are. And so this is just the process that we go through. One of the first things that you want to do is to set your display projection. So under display, just click display projection. You'll choose global, and then you'll have a chance to figure out what projection are there. I've already added a couple of projections, and so I have some listed in this recent projections drop-down box, and so I can use those. But what you guys would probably have to do is to go down to this projected coordinate system. It's not geographic, so it's projected. And so look for the one you want. So in our case, we're going to do state plane, but you could use UTM if you wanted. So if you look in state plane, you'll find different options here. And one of those is NAD 83, 2011 meters. And so this was a specific projection that is available. And so if you look at under that, then you have the individual states and the different zones for every state listed. And we would just go through here and choose New Jersey, NAD 83 meters. Click OK, and it shows up here. In our case, we're going to have our vertical units that we want to work in need to be in meters. So if this shows U.S. survey feet for you, you need to make sure that it reflects meters, and click OK. You don't really see a change on the screen, but if you go back to it, you'll be able to see that those defaults were set. All right, so I'll go back to the next PowerPoint. That gets a little bit more in detail on working with that dosimetry. And a couple of things we've already shown here.